another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline. I know you're watching us on either Verizon 32, Comcast 7, and if you don't see us, tell your friends Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook. We're up to 340 likes, guys, so it's awesome. Hey, in honor of our country's birthday, I happened to stop down at a local establishment called Bethel Bakery, and I told them I'd be doing a little shameless promotion. I don't know if you can see that Bethel Bakery, but hey guys, we got some great cupcakes here. Chris, you lucked out. You're here on camera.
Give me a little vanilla on that.
And
I want a black one.
And
I love chocolate.
You guys fight over that, and I'll promote a little bit of Chris. You know, we got our usual National Unicycle Championship coming up Seneca Valley in Butler. You can read it right there. We're going to try to head out there maybe on a Wednesday or Thursday. We're going to try to coordinate with, thanks. Watch, I didn't bring any napkins, fellas. Try to be careful. Well, anyhow, they're supposed to be at Carnegie Science Center between 12 and 2 on Saturday. I don't know if we can get a camera that quick, but they're doing demos on the unicycles.
Wow.
I saw that guy riding and doing stunts on a unicycle inside on wood, jumping and
Yeah,
bouncing
did you
around.
see that video? I put it Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook page. You got to go check it out. Come on. Then on Sunday, July 28th, we got the South Park Fairgrounds, the best car cruise event of the season. This is for the Bethel Park Junior Football Program. All proceeds go there. Come on down there at South Park Fairgrounds, July 28th, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Be a great event. And that's what I have there. Now, I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Smoking Jim Frazier. We got Little Z, Zach Brenner. Oh, don't forget to like Brenner Contracting.
Please.
Like them early and often. Keep voting. Also, vote for some Pirates for the All-Star game. You only have till July 4th. So keep voting. Get those votes in there for them. That'd be great, guys. And on our show, we always do What's on Our Mind. So I'm going to start out with, wait a second. Little Mini Me Z wants to know, Chris, I don't know if you know this guy. You haven't been here with Mini Me Z come around. He's saying something there. Where's Chip? And 2013 is going to be the year. There's something about Pirates here. I don't know. We'll delve into that later. Mini Me Z, you take it easy. You took the place of Brazil. Brazil's sitting there. Sorry, kid.
Get off
She's
of
a
that.
sweetheart.
And that's BRASIL. Little Z, what's on your mind?
Well, I'll tell you what's on my mind is if you want the green, you got to see me. Because I can
And
save
Levine.
everybody at home lots of money. And what I got to say today is, you know, if you want the best job and you want it done right the first time, call me at Brenner Contracting. We take care of everything. And just mention that you're friends of Pittsburgh Sportsline, and we'll save you as much money as we possibly can. And that's what's on my mind this evening.
Whoa, short and sweet, Little Z. We're going to have Mini Me talk about the Pirates or something. We'll cover that. Hey, Smoking Jim, what's on your mind?
Hey, thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
Have a cupcake.
you got to see Levine.
Little Z, you can eat a cupcake while we're talking. We don't mind.
And I'm honored to be here with my favorite, Little Z, man. Little Z brings it. But, hey, a lot of people may not know my Spotlight Player of the Week. We're going to go a little bit way back. You know, my favorite safety in Pittsburgh Steelers history may surprise some people. It's Thomas Everett. Thomas Everett was a Jim Thorpe Award winner when he was at Baylor. Was a little dude, 5'8", and I tell you what, he loved to come up and make some great contact, and he did win a Super Bowl when he got traded to the Dallas Cowboys. But right now, if I was the Pittsburgh Steelers, I would give ESPN coffee boy Ryan Clark his walking papers. You know, if Ryan Clark wants to be working as an intern in the offseason after all the turmoil in a Pittsburgh Steelers locker room, I thought he was a leader. But no, he wants to get Mike and everybody else coffee every morning as a 35-year-old intern for ESPN. So What Chuck Noll used to say, if you start thinking about retirement, then you're already retired. Cut Ryan Clark. He's a liability. 13 interceptions and 11 years of playing professional football. Horrible for a safety. Troy Polamalu, I love him, but Troy Polamalu's not around the team this year. He's out in California doing Pilates with his personal trainer. So I think the best safety on the team may be super rookie from Syracuse, Samarco Thomas. This guy's 5'8", 5'9", 215 pounds, runs a 4.3 40, 41-inch vertical jump, and I tell you what, he hits like a ton of bricks. I'd put him in there immediately. They say rookies cannot learn Dick LeBeau's offense as a rookie. That's not true. Former 8th-round draft pick from Penn State, Darren Perry, who used to be closer to the guy in the vent selling peanuts than he was to any receiver. But Darren Perry started as a rookie and started for a lot of years with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Thomas can do it. He's a hard-hitting guy, very mature. By the time this kid was 20 years old, Al Levine, the talking machine, both of his parents had died suddenly, and he went to court and he got custody of his 5 brothers and sisters. Wow. Very mature guy, hungry. He's going to come in, learn the defense. He ain't going to sit around ESPN kissing up to all the online guys, kissing booty. He's going to be in there in training camp, being a true leader in the locker room. This is the kind of guy you can start building your team around. I would go with my Spotlight Player of the Week, Samarco Thomas.
Thank you, Smoking Jim. You always have some great insights, and you threw some history out there and everything else.
Thank you, sir.
Sounds great. And if you want to call in and you challenge any of these opinions, because that's what a lot of the sports is here. It's opinions. And you can call...
Woo! On point.
How do we get a call? The timing is excellent. This is live TV. Hello, caller. Welcome to Pittsburgh Sports Line.
Hey, Alan, this is Chipper. How's things going?
Hey, what's up,
Chipper? How's the lobster?
Oh, man, we put 20 of them in a pot the other night.
I saw some of those pictures, and they looked so huge, it looked like that you could walk a dog. They were like the size of a dog.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to watch last night's show. I wanted to call and say hello to you guys. And what about my Buccos, huh?
Well, here, we're drinking so much of the Kool-Aid. We got little mini-me Z's on the air. He has a little Post-it, where's Chip? And then he brought in a little thing that says 2013 is going to be our year. And that's for the Pirates.
We're more than halfway to 100 wins, man. Who would have thought, huh?
And I brought up a couple things to try to represent the Pirates. I said if they go 41-40 with the remaining games, then they win 92. Can you imagine talking Pirates and 92 wins? So yes.
we are talking playoff baseball in October in Pittsburgh, and we will be there.
And
what about Chris Letang signing up for another 8 years?
Well, I don't know if that was 100%. They haven't signed him up for sure. Oh, it just did come out. You gave us breaking news because Chris, our man on the camera, he just gave me the thumbs up that deal was done, just like you said, Chip.
There was a hiccup with a no-trade clause.
$58 million.
Wow.
So that's an average salary of $7.75 mil. Oh wow! But hey, I just called in to say hello. We're getting set to settle in for the evening, but guys have a good show, and I'll see you Monday night at Sips. Okay?
Hey, Chip.
Yeah, Jim.
Will you be in bed by 8:30?
It's possible.
Well, tell Stephanie we said hi.
Tell your better second half, Stephanie, that have a great time, enjoy your family and the time up there, and keep watching Wales out there, Chip.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, and keep the sports alive, man. Pittsburgh's going to be a great place to be this summer.
There's no doubt. I was at the game the other day too, just to keep you on the phone another second. I saw the 2-homer game.
Free ticket?
Yeah, they're killing me. Hey, Chip, go enjoy that lobster.
See you later.
Thanks for calling in.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I wouldn't be surprised if they collapsed again. Just my opinion.
I'm not rooting for that, but I mean it's possible.
Well, here's what I'm on this side. We're not doing what I'm talking about. 'Cause
There's not
I don't even
angels
know
in the
what's
outfield.
on my mind. Hey, did you see? I think I dropped that cupcake. There's one missing.
Oh my goodness!
I ate it.
Oh, did you? Did you really?
Wow.
Yeah, you got nothing on your mustache.
Oh man, this is live TV, so watch yourself here. But I am a little bit fearful about that. But this year is different.
Why is this year different? Tell the folks at home why you
Well,
think this year is different.
You have some guys that now have played in the major leagues 2 years, losing and having the greatest debacle and defeat happen ever, North American history of baseball. 16 games up in August, and you lose. These guys have some pride. Some guys are local guys too now, and it's in their blood. They've been drinking Pittsburgh water. We don't like that type of stuff.
Well, there's a couple of things you
So
look for with Pittsburgh baseball. One is in about 2 weeks, the Steelers go to training camp, and nobody cares about baseball after that. And I tell you what, that hurts the pride of the players. And number two, I think most importantly, is I think that the arms on the relief pitchers are going to fall off. Nobody's using more relief pitchers in the Major League Baseball than the Pittsburgh Pirates to win these games, and I think it's going to backfire on them in the crucial months. And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't hit 82.
Well, those are great points, but I've seen some wins this year that they should not have won. Now, when you're on a losing streak, and you guys, well, Smoking Jim, you can't even talk about losing with you, but you've been on winning teams. You make a lot of your luck. Me and Little Z, we've been on teams where we lose. And sometimes, I won't mention Gateway, but, you know, you will.
Smokey Jim knows how to pick a winner.
Or maybe they picked him.
He even suspects that you're a loser. He's Batman.
Batman's gone. But I feel some of the players that they did get in here, look at Russell Martin. There's one of the guys that is actually the glue to this team. He didn't even play till the 14th inning, and he gets a hit, game-winning hit. And Smoking Jim found out something about him. We'll talk off air about that. But he's everything and more as a catcher, and that's what they needed.
Well, I think the ironic part with Mike not around is that the only reason why we got Russell Martin was because the Yankees are trying not to spend money for one of the first times
Right.
in decades, and they undervalued and they let him go, and that's how the Pirates got him.
But I give even more credit to Russell Martin. When he come here, he goes, I came here because of the money. This was his best offer. Nobody offered him any more. So it's not like he came here, he was honest and said, oh, I think the Pirates are going to be great. He came here because of the money. Just check the video when he did say it.
And Russell Martin may be my favorite player the last 2 days. I didn't know until 2 days ago he was black. I had no idea. Until they put that cream, and they put that whipped cream in his face, and I seen that hair. I said, oh, wait a minute.
AJ Burnett.
He may need one of your blowout combs you used to sell, Al.
Pick. You need a pick. I'm going to get the pick for the beard. Get the pick for the beard. He can
It's a
adjust that.
toss-up, man. It's a toss-up between Al Levine's Polly Walnuts, Sopranos look, and my beard.
I think we're even on that stuff. Since I didn't have too much on my mind, that we could talk about here, why don't we revisit what's going on since we're having a discussion, and we only have 3 of us here. Chip called in, so he technically showed up.
That was quick.
Right.
Chip.
He did show up, so he was on the show tonight. So we're missing just Big Mike, and Little Z's filling in again. He's the Wally Chip, or Wally Pip now since Chip called in. So
Hey, call it whatever you want.
hey, we're just happy to have you on board here, buddy. And you had such a short little thing there about representing Brunner Contracting. I'm going to pass that up because I always do represent them. Wait, where's that? Just come out of the washing
that's
machine.
white. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's white.
Man,
Now
you
look
use
at that.
Tide.
No, I don't use Tide. I'm not telling you my secret here. We don't advertise all the products. All right? All right, enough of that. Unless you want to question Smoking Jim on anything he had with his Steeler.
On his third-round draft pick?
Yeah.
4th round.
Oh, he's fourth round.
Yeah.
Well,
Because you usually question him, Little Z,
well,
not to stir it up.
I don't think we could afford to not have Ryan Clark out there, even though he has hands like Ike Taylor. but that's neither here nor
Stone
there.
hands.
He hits like a sledgehammer. So even if he has the hands of Ike Taylor, he hits like a sledgehammer. So I think I'm going to start putting that on shirts.
Sledgehammer. Hey,
He
there was
has the hands of Ike Taylor, but hits like a sledgehammer.
hey, there's a good song.
Those
There's a
shirts will
good,
sell.
there's a good song, Sledgehammer, from in the past. You gotta
Really?
pull
Peter
that
Gabriel.
up. Yeah, pull
There
up
you go.
Sledgehammer.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it's a good song.
But that doesn't have anything to do with sledgehammering, actually.
I
If you want to know
understand.
the truth.
I do know the truth.
Okay.
But I just thought I'd throw it out for people that don't know.
Okay.
You don't have to tell them everything. Like, we could talk about the planets and the stars.
Or rubbing
Just
some
don't-
vitamin D on you.
Yeah.
Or riding a unicycle without a seat.
Who said that? What's going on here? This show's out of control. Hey, let's go to Sip Sports Bar segment. All right, they had a great new sign up there promoting Sip Sports Bar. You got to see the first class sign that's there. Watch our show. Matter of fact, you can watch both right now. You can watch us live. Chief, since you missed it and you're eating your dinner, you might be on vacation. Maybe you're in Gettysburg because he's a big history
Oh,
guy.
I love Gettysburg.
Yeah. Well,
Great
Smoking, you
movie.
should have called him up. Yeah. And there's some great books on it, too. I even posted a photo of Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president, giving the Gettysburg Address. Check that photo out.
Wow.
Definitely. They just found it. It's a rare photo. So we cover a lot of things, but back to Sip Sports Bar. They got a whole bunch of things going on. Monday night is Pittsburgh Sports Line night. If you didn't know that, we've said that every week, so come on out there. You'll see us all there. We have a lot of great guests. It's a great night for talking sports. We talk all kind of sports. Smoking Jim's been bringing in some health people, and he got to go get some colon cleanse and all kind of other things. He keeps bringing it up. So before you get the colon cleanse, go to Tuesday night Campides Pizza, 50 cents, Smoking Jim. Wednesday night, they got the special, because as I promote Smoking Jim, he's one of the best scouts of men in football and other sports. He also is a great scout with the models and the ladies. It's ladies' night at Sip Sports Bar, $1 drinks. This is like going back to the
You know
70s.
Batman isn't missing that night.
Guess what? Batman's going to be there on Wednesday night for the dollar drinks with ladies.
Guaranteed.
Just smile at Smoking Jim, you may get a drink. And then Thursday night is jumbo wings, 25-cent wings. Smoking Jim and I, we don't always go together there. He gets the early shift, I get the late shift. And as for Brandy there, and Kelly was helping out Monday night, two great bartenders. You got to come up there just to get great service there. You get your drinks, your food, and everything else. These guys are too much. There's entertainment on Friday. And hey, whatever else they have, check out their Facebook page. Like them, like Brenner Contracting, like Smoking Jim, or friend Smoking Jim. Alan Levine, you could friend me.
Friend Brazil.
Brazil, we can't find her right now. She got pushed out of her seat. All right, now we go to one of my favorite segments of the night. And for all of you that are fans of Smoking Jim Frazier, he has a ton, thousands out there. This is Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Hey, thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And like I said, man, this is the 25th consecutive edition of Fiction and Fact with Smoking Jim's Almanac. And we used to take some heat early on because some people weren't believing, so I wanted to bring some visual aids for some of the Fiction and Facts, Smoking Jim's Almanac. But we're going back a few years.
Wow, look
And
at this. There's dust.
We're going back to Heinz Field. And my main man, Terrell Pryor, I was there live. Terrell Pryor from Jeanette High School, going against Beaver Falls High School. Look at them calves on the brother. Brothers don't have calves like that. Terrell Pryor and Jeanette was the greatest football team, high school football team ever seen. His senior year, they put the mercy rule on every team that they played. Beaver Falls was ranked number 2 in the state. Jeanette was ranked number 1. And Terrell Pryor beat them 61-12. 61-12. Terrell Pryor even ran a quarterback sneak and went 61 yards for a touchdown. The guy could run a 4.3 40 in high school. He was 6'6", 225 pounds. Great football and basketball player. He's the only player in WPIL history, I don't think there will be another one ever, unless he has a son, a thoroughbred.
Whoa.
And he is the only player in WPIL history to run for 4,000 yards and to pass for over 4,000 yards in his career. He was the USA Today National Player of the Year. He went to the U.S. Army All-American game and, of course, was MVP of that. He's the only guy, him and Scotty Clemens, Coach Scott Clemens, who later went to Notre Dame, were the only two players ever in Southwestern Pennsylvania history to be parade All-Americans in basketball and football in high school. So the fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac, we was Heinz Field, Terrell Pryor, the greatest player ever.
Oh, let me check one of those photos there.
And for you folks watching at home, since Smoking Jim just put himself in that place, he definitely got to watch my Clareton Bears whoop ass in the game before that game in Double-A for all you fans watching.
That's a great photo.
And I even heard it's rumored that Terrell Pryor has 3 sons that are coming up. And I think he plays for the Oakland Raiders, so he might be. That's where Aaron Hernandez is rumored to be headed next. So they might be
Albatross, close to Albatross, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough because Still Valley was in Double-A, and I watched a lot of Terrell Pryor. So, but hey, he was a great athlete in Western Pennsylvania sports history. I can't deny him on that. What he's going to do in the NFL still remains to be seen. So, stay tuned, folks.
Do you think maybe they shouldn't let some of these guys go to college? Maybe they should pull an NBA on some of these guys because look what happened at college there.
Yeah. Good point.
I mean, he got off track there.
Definitely got off track, but that just goes to tell you about who you surround yourself with. And you got to surround yourself with good people. And if you don't, bad things can happen to you.
And
not to cut you off,
That's all right.
Talking machine. And Lil Z makes a great point because Terrell Pryor didn't surround himself with the best of the people because Terrell Pryor's mentor was Charlie Batch. And if you remember, Charlie Batch took him on recruiting visits and stuff like that and helped him pick his college.
I still believe
I
to
agree
this
with
day,
you. He
but
didn't
I
surround
still-
himself with good people.
I still today believe that Terrell Pryor should have went to Pitt.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
who was the coach then? Which coach was there? Wannstedt.
Wannstedt.
And we just talked to a guy from Sports Card Junction. Gave us some good stories. Check out a story.
Is this Pryor? It's in mint condition. We got to see what this Pryor.
You know what? Is it
This
autographed?
hold on, this just in. A picture of Little Z, an autograph for Little Z is going for more than Terrell Pryor right now in the city of Pittsburgh. That is just in. It just came in from the control room.
Hey, Smoking Jim, I'm going to call Chuck Weldon up right now at Sports Card
Little-
Junction out in the North
Little
Hills.
does Smoking Jim know that I'm in touch with my buddy Charlie. I'm trying to get him out to SIPs. I'm trying to get him to call in. I'm taking a ribbon for you, Chuck. You gotta be some relief out there, buddy, man. Please.
I think it's all in good fun. We just have a lot of opinions here, and if you're not watching sports in Pittsburgh and throwing out your opinions, you're not a sports fan. And we all see things through different
Well, as soon
rose-colored
as I
glasses.
start talking about the Serbian national basketball tournament, Al Levine starts sweating bullets. I don't know if he got a bookie that is a Serbian that he has some money to. I'm sorry, Sergey. I got Al's back.
Sergey.
I got Al's
Hold
back,
it. I
Sergey.
got better. I got Michael Draculich Sr. will come in here.
Wow.
That's the guy who'll come in.
Well,
Big Mike
considering we
D's
can't
dad.
even get his son to come into the studio,
Oh.
I'm not very fearful that his dad's going to make it to Bethel Park.
I don't know. These guys are pretty tough there. They're pretty tough
I don't
out
miss
there.
a beat. So,
That's why we like you on here, Little Z.
That was good.
We believe in giving. I always said it's much better to give than to receive, so that's why I like throwing that out
hey, well,
at you.
Aaron Hernandez is about to find that out the hard way.
Whoa. Yeah, well, sometimes the mighty have a little fall there, and, stuff
Well,
happens.
apparently he was always a deranged
Yeah, but how come it was a secret for so long?
I don't think it was a secret. I mean, if Smoking Jim goes back into his almanac and goes into his talent development from the state of Florida, I believe Aaron Hernandez was always a psychopath, and a lot of teams said they wouldn't draft him anyways. So,
Well, I heard he was threatening certain other players, too, that he'd kill them and beat them up and everything else.
well, apparently
Maybe Wes Welker left because of that.
One gentleman lost his eye in Florida. One gentleman died in Massachusetts. 2 others are rumored to have been killed. So, I mean, Aaron Hernandez is pretty much one of the first serial killers ever in the NFL
That we know about.
that we know about.
He must be so tough that even when you even when he shoots you in the eye, you still won't snitch.
But rumor has it that
That's
once
tough.
the juice breaks loose, he's coming out. He's coming after you, Aaron. He's coming after you. He wants that distinction, Aaron. The juice wants that distinction.
Well, they're still looking for the guy that might have, killed those.
Well,
people.
Juice would have if Juice don't go to jail because he was looking for Nicole's killer.
Yeah.
He'd have found her.
But
by
you
now.
know what? The problem was that mirror was pretty
I don't
big.
think they can find.
kept looking in the mirror.
I don't think they can find Nicole's killer because they already have Nicole's killer. He's right there in front of you.
Yeah, but he wasn't arrested on that.
Well, hey, if the glove
That's
doesn't
why we
fit,
have a
you
court
must quit.
system.
So shout out to Johnny Cochran and the Dream Team. You know, whenever you have money and you can buy the best lawyers that money can buy, sometimes you can bypass the legal system. But I don't think Mr. Hernandez is going to be able to. He made too many mistakes. He purposely thrashed his cell phone, purposely destroyed his tapes in his security
You might
system.
be a budding
He
lawyer
purposely
here. You might be
had
a
a cleaning company. You should have called Brenner Contracting. I would have flew into Boston, Massachusetts. They would have never seen me. They would have cleaned that place up. They called me the cleanup man. I would have helped you out, buddy, man, no matter what.
Well, Hernandez hired Johnny Cochran Martinez, so I think he may get off. He has a good look.
Oh, relative. Okay. Nice. And this was a segment that I can't even name it. This is like totally off the wall and just a discussion. It's like what we would talk about privately, but somehow Chris has the camera on. Aaron has the volume on. I don't know what's going on. I've lost control here.
And his shirt, don't it look like the Expos?
Yeah, sure does.
And now, we can't do Chip's trivia time. Big Mike's
For
questions.
you folks at home, Chip, it's not really, he doesn't give you a chance to answer the question. He gives you the answer along with the question. So it's not really trivia when you don't even get a chance to answer. He just gives you the answer.
Well,
So-
hey, look how good little Z looks with Chris filming here tonight.
Thanks.
Nice.
Hey, George, stay home, George. Please stay home.
Whoa! And what's that shirt you have on there?
I got one of Smoking Jim's favorite pirates on, Barry Bonds.
All right.
Wow, there you go.
My favorite.
You must listen to the Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac, part baseball.
25 straight weeks in a row.
Well, that's going to be a coming video and then a book. I'm working on the book rights right now for Smoking Jim.
Well, I would like to be in
Appreciate
the
it.
chapter under Terrell Pryor.
Well, you'll be a little commentary there, like 2 sentences, not the 35 that you threw out there. And then the Clareton Bears, somehow they come into that. How did that happen?
Because they were getting it done at Heinz Field right before that game.
All right, well, I'm going to bring up something near and dear to your hearts, the boxing segment. Now, we had 3 boxers last night. Check out that video. We covered a lot of territory. One of them is a good friend of yours, JB, Little Teddy, out of the, what do they call that? Pittsburgh Boxing Club.
Route 51.
I went to their site. Pittsburgh Boxing Club is what it says. So, and JB was great, and his comments and everything, and how fast he is. I want to go down there just to see him.
Well, you could go on YouTube right now while you're watching us on Pittsburgh Sportsline. You could easily type in whatever it was, Taurus versus Pluto, and watch JB and Brackett get it on. Justin Brackett spar.
Okay.
That's pretty intense sparring sessions.
I did check it out. So I did see it. He sent me all of those, plus all the rules. How about all those rule changes? I know Smoking Jim put it out there and with this elite stuff and everything else and how they score and low blows. Maybe you could discuss that tonight live. Somebody will call in, one of these boxers maybe.
Well, I don't think that's going to hold true. That if you low blow your opponent and he can't make it back up, that you're going to win the fight. Like, I just don't see that jabbing. And if I'm in the corner and that happens, then somebody's getting sucker punched.
That's it.
So that'll be, we'll
Really?
take care of it.
If that was the rule,
That's going to
Butterbean,
be the rule.
Yeah,
Butterbean would have won about 15
Correct.
Olympic gold medals.
Correct.
Well, how are you
Butterbean
going to
was
stop
not
some of these guys? Then it's a standing 10 count. Why do you
Yeah.
come up with a standing 10
Yeah,
count?
'cause you
When you
hit-
count 10, you lose.
Because I think that has to be either a misprint or JT the Brick read it wrong.
I don't
because
know.
if you-
I saw it all in there. It's
Well,
like
I'm on
that.
the USA
If you
Boxing.
hit somebody low, you can win.
Yeah, these
Wow.
these rules are really not that good there, and I'm, just what I read. He said they're approved.
JT looked like he had on the headgear last night, huh?
Did he?
He
If
looked like
only
he
had
was,
a
he looked
beard.
like he was auditioning for a Janet Jackson video.
Hey, he was a great
Yeah, he
great
is
guest,
good. He did
great interview.
He did a great job.
He's a great young man, so I wouldn't expect anything less from him. Let's
Right, he
see
did.
what his boxing career holds out. He has great footwork with his feet. He can kick you in the face as easy as he can punch you in the
Well,
face. So
really?
you might see him in the ring. You might find him in Thailand.
I'm wondering if
fighting
we
in the
could
back
be his
room.
promoter for MMA. I hate to take him off of Big Ted down there at Route 51,
I didn't say that,
Pittsburgh,
Ted.
Boston.
I didn't say that, Ted.
He heard you now. You can't take it back. They're recording this.
Al said it.
Little Z. He's trying to set me up here. No problem. Anything else happening with boxing? We talked a little bit about August 3rd.
Well, we had some
And
changes to
Yeah, and I
August
wanted
3rd.
to talk to Little Z because he's involved with a lot of this. So
Well, as it stands right now, Paul the Pittsburgh Kid Spatafor is not fighting with us on August 3rd. He turned down an HBO fight that he was going to be on the undercard of. So right now, I don't know what the future for holds for Paul Spatafor, the Pittsburgh Kid. But I do know Rod Salka, Jason Bergman and company are going to be fighting August 3rd still down in the Strip District. So I look forward to that. On July 13th, we have world-class boxing, Billy Hutchinson, Morgan Big Chief Fitch, Joey Holt, and all Young Keller's guys fighting down at the Harvard Mountaineer. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to that. Michael Anthony wants me at Beauty and Beats or Beats and Beauties or whatever that
I've
is.
been getting invited to
So,
that too. What's
For the
that?
first time in my life, I'm in demand like pay-per-view, so I can't be in all these
I
places
think
at
he's
once.
going there for the pretty ladies there.
Hey, you
I
never
think he
know.
might be visiting there.
Look for me maybe in West Virginia. Look for me maybe on Mount Washington. You'll just have to tune in and see.
Well, maybe you can send.
We also got some fights
Mini
going
Measy.
on. Speaking
21st.
of 51 boxing at the Royal, so on July
Royal
21st.
Place, the 21st.
So
We're going to get
I
more
look
of the
forward
details.
to some of that amateur boxing that's going to be taking place. And like I said, we look forward to having these guys back ringside for Rod's next fight on August 3rd. So we got a lot of stuff going on in boxing. So I don't think the outcome is as bleak as Mr. Brackett is making it out to be. We have a lot of good fighters that are training and fighting out of this region. Stevie Upshur, Chambers just called in last week. Eddie Chambers is from this area. So Sammy Vasquez is still fighting out of this area. Rod Salka, Jason Bergman, Paul Spatafora, Rayco Sanders is still fighting out there. Hey, what's up, Rayco? What's up, War? You're out there fighting somewhere. I know you are. So we got a lot of great
Hold it, he
fighters.
has the War Girls. He's not fighting with the War Girls.
I haven't
They're
seen
ranked.
the War Girls yet, but I'm going to have
Go
to
to
ask
Pittsburgh
12-pack.
Sports Line
Justin
Facebook.
Brooks. Justin Brooks was getting very well acquainted with Rayco's War Girls, so I'm gonna have to ask the future of War Productions, the
Girls.
young buck, Justin Brooks.
Nothing like stirring it up a little bit there. We'll see what happens there. Justin got to stay in some training. He's only 18 years old, as we
I was
found out.
surprised.
So.
I thought he was old. I thought he was like 23. I was surprised about that.
Well, just like with Terrell Pryor, though, you have to surround yourself with the best people,
Yeah.
and as long as you know that he stays down there at 51 boxing with Ted Marconia and company, and trains with JB and JT Brackett, it don't get much better than that as far as amateur boxing goes in the city of Pittsburgh. That
Right.
gym down there, and Ted
And that's a
Marconia
convenient
is one of the
location.
most underrated amateur boxing trainers in the city. And I'll tell you right now, he is every bit as good of an amateur boxing trainer as Tom Yonkello. Tom Yonkello just has the benefit of having some more luck and having some better star caliber fighters in his stable. But Ted has his son coming up that's going to be an absolute
The real
monster.
young Teddy.
The real young Teddy. And even if we go to the old young Teddy, JB, if we get him in there, he's going to put on a show. And that's really what it's all about. Nobody really wants to see two guys just, out of breath, not being able to really throw punches. Everybody loves the action. Everybody loves the little guys. They get in there and put on a show.
That they
so
do.
I'm just fortunate enough to have grown up with most of these crazy fighters in the city.
Thanks for keeping it clean there, Z. You have a lot of experience there. I'm glad I met you on security there out in Elizabeth.
It's a tough job. Somebody's got to do it.
That's why I can't wait to see you in the Strip District on August 3rd. And then the 31st Studios.
I don't know if the Strip District is ready for me, but we're going to find out August 3rd.
Well, they better be. There's still going to be a lot of different things going on that day from what you heard. That's not changing? Or
Hasn't changed yet. And like I said, I can't wait to be able to fully confirm a lot of these things. These things are so subject to change, like the weather, that's been so gloomy in this city over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
everything changes.
How's the grass cutting business for Brenner Contracting?
The grass cutting business is great. I have 15 customers that I have to cut, like I said, for just being a. We do roofs, plumbing, and so many other things. If you need your grass cut, we'll cut your grass. Whatever you need, call me.
Well, we have a lot of new fans. We got Grace, we got Ryan, we got Jim, we got a few other people watching the show. So, and some of our regulars, Big Joe, and some of the others, and they're all watching. Chief, I already gave a shout out to the Chief. He probably had to work or he's on vacation. I told you. He's a history guy. I'll make a bet he's probably in Gettysburg, like I said. He might be out there walking around all the heroes there that, more people were killed there percentage-wise than any other war.
And I tell you what, my only regret is in college I ran track, and we had an indoor meet one year at Gettysburg. Gettysburg College had a nice indoor track facility, even though they were only a Division III school. It was beautiful. Had some great indoor track meets, and afterwards, everybody, and I mean everybody, went on a tour of Gettysburg, the battlefield, and everybody.
Even
except me. I went back to the hotel and watched ESPN and watched TV. But
they pulled
that's
pretty funny. That's pretty funny. That's a true brother move. That's a true brother move to go back to the hotel in a battle that decided the fate of generations and the things to come. The freed men that should have never been slaves. He goes back to the hotel. Man, that is great. That is great. That is a true
brother move. I said, oh man. About 10 years later, I said, I should have went, man.
After he found out how important that battle was to the landscape, Smoking Jim wouldn't even be here sitting next to me if it wasn't for Gettysburg, Abraham Lincoln, the proclamation, all the stuff that went with it.
Proclamation of Emancipation.
Correct.
Say that a couple times. But anyhow, Smoking Jim, these are opinions on the show, folks. If it offends you, we're sorry about that. And if Smoking Jim, he was actually so fast. He was a record-setting sprinter. I don't know about world class, but he was pretty close to that. And he sprinted so fast out of there, that's what happened. Plus, he gave me some inside info that he always had a lot of free food and great shoes.
Smoking Jim, secretly in Smoking Jim's heart, he loves the North. And he's a Yankee at heart. Because if he didn't root for the Yankees, like I said, he wouldn't even be here today.
Just not in baseball. Just not in baseball.
He might work for Al Levine.
Yeah. Maybe.
Django.
Freedom here.
Django was a free man.
There you go. We're getting all kinds of things.
I may take a ride out there on Thursday.
Are you?
To Altoona.
I'll go with you. Is it near California University?
California University is like the Bermuda Triangle to these gentlemen. Anytime they head out towards Cal U, something strange happens, man. And I don't know where they go or what happens to them. Al Levine hasn't been the same since.
Hold it, guys. I got a report. We got our roving reporter, Devin Shea, who's normally on the camera. I'll read the quote. I can't talk here. Pirates are keeping the Phillies down after 2, but are not putting up any runs yet. That's our report from Devin Shea, our military man in the Pirates Stadium. He got the free tickets. He's happy to be at the game. He's trying to bring home a winner. What will that be, 9 in a row if they win?
Wow, sound like Doc Ellis.
10, that's right. We got the 9th win the other day. Thanks for correcting me.
Sound like Doc Ellis. You saying he putting them down. Sound like Doc Ellis is on the mound against Cincinnati. Where
maybe only the first 6.
He hit every batter. He putting them down.
we don't have to. Talking about hitting batters, we didn't realize we hit so many Reds. We had hit more Reds than they hit Pirates, so maybe that's why we're in there. So, and that gets us into some Pirate talk.
All right.
Mini-Me Z, I know you're looking for the chip, but we got some Pirate stuff to talk about. And
I don't know. I think we've been talking a lot of Pirates.
Really, you don't want to talk anymore.
I was actually trying to look at this. I'm looking at this Pitt football schedule here, and Smoking Jim needs to have a little fiction and fact on this almanac.
1 in 10.
1 in 10. Whew, I was going 6 and 6.
Wow.
I haven't seen the schedule.
We might as well go to Pitt because that's
where
they're
if you
in the
haven't
ACC.
seen the schedule, Then
What
they-
is the schedule
well,
here?
the
Can you
Pitt-
show it? Maybe they can put that on the air.
I can't show because I have some of my thoughts written down up here at the top.
Man,
and
your
they can't.
thoughts they aren't
We'll
ready
go,
for
crazy.
we'll go
TV.
through it and we'll
We'll
see
go
if
through
we
it real
come
quick.
with a consensus.
Yeah, well, they
What-
started off with the Florida State Seminoles
Loss.
coming to Heinz Field.
That's a loss.
And then their first win of the season comes the next week when they have a bye week.
Do you win during a bye week?
Hey,
When
any
did
week
that
you're not
rule change?
losing is a win.
No. It's still a 0.
Okay.
Zeros
Then
don't count.
New Mexico, the Lobos come to town, so that might be a victory. Then the Duke Blue Devils,
Maybe.
the Virginia Cavaliers. Then they have another win. They have an open date on Saturday, October 5th.
No.
So that's 3 wins. Then they
Zeros
travel.
don't count.
They
How do
travel.
you count? 0, 1, 2, 3?
Like I
You don't
said,
count the
Like I
0.
said, anytime it's not a loss, man, it's like a win, especially
No.
for that program right
You
now.
don't sound like a player now. You sound like a fan. We got in some discussions before. I was waiting till the little Z fumbled the ball.
Never that. So then they travel to Virginia Tech to play the Hokies on October 12th. I figure that's going to be a pretty devastating loss.
Yeah.
Then they come back. They bounce back against Old Dominion, the Monarchs, on
Old
October
Dominion play
19th.
football?
I didn't
Old
know.
Dominion play football?
This
Come
year.
on.
This
Like
year.
I said,
Oh,
like I
my
said-
goodness.
Like I said, anything for a win. Then they travel to play the Navy Midshipmen on October 26th, so
Maybe,
that's not even a
maybe.
guarantee. But 3 of these games, like I said, one's on ESPN, 2 ESPN, one's on CBS. So they're going to get some national exposure in the slaughterhouse. But now continuing on, we got the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, followed by the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, then the North Carolina Tar Heels, then they go to the Syracuse Orange, then they go to the U, which I figure will be a real devastating occurrence down there. So then they got the ACC championship game, which I don't think they have to worry about going to the ACC championship game. But it is on the bottom of the schedule. It does say ACC championship game. So, but like I said, I feel like they could be 6-6, and I wasn't real
6 and
enthused.
6, really?
I wasn't real enthused when they decided to make the jump to the ACC. I just felt like if you couldn't take care of business in the Big East, you're going to the ACC, which is even more historic conference. Not so much in football, but I mean,
Right.
the legend. Virginia Tech made the jump from the Big East to the ACC, so and it didn't hurt them at all, really. So we'll see what happens. But Pitt, they need to recruit. Like I said, one of the greatest things Dave Wanstead ever did was he went to these local high schools, and we were getting all the players. We were getting everybody from Thomas Jefferson. We were getting everybody from all the major marquee programs in the region.
Right.
West Allegheny High School. Shout out to Bob Palco and the coach out there, Tyler, and them guys. So, like I said, Paul Chris has a lot of work to do. I wasn't really convinced that he was the answer. There were some other guys that I felt like they should have brought in that were more from the Pitt program and from the history of the Pitt.
That black coach that went to jail, he'd have been good.
Hey,
Yeah. You need talent like that.
he should have went to Gettysburg and learned his history.
With who? With who? Who should he have gone with?
Hey, if he wanted to go with Smoking Jim, I mean, Smoking Jim isn't about putting your hands on a lady, so he could have learned a couple things from Smoking Jim as well.
He's a gentleman.
Smoking Jim is a gentleman, and Mr. Haygood had some little anger issues, so that led to his dismissal. He had the quickest tenure of any coach I've ever seen.
Yes,
He got
he did.
fired before he ever even made it
But
to
you
the
know
office.
who I always was, he had baby mama drama, but the
Yeah.
guys that I felt more bad for were the assistant coaches, because the assistant coaches that he brought in, they left their jobs.
Right.
And their jobs were filled,
Great
and
point.
they were here 2-3 weeks, and he's in the jail in Indiana, right next to the same cell that Mike Tyson held
Really?
in Indiana. And all those assistant coaches, when he got fired, they fired the assistant coaches too, because the new coaches, brought in his guys, and those guys were out of work for a year, and that'll cause some problems at home too.
Wow. Smoking Jim, you got some insights here on the domestic front.
Definitely.
That is awesome. I never even thought about that. He pulled that out of left field, to use a baseball metaphor. We'll have to have a...
Well, I don't know. I haven't got a chance to study or look over Pitt's basketball schedule that's
We
coming
have some
up
time.
yet, but
We still have
I
a
know
little
they
time.
have. They don't have a lot of players on the roster right now, so I don't know what's going to happen
I
with
know
that.
it's-
You got to play Duke.
They lost one guy that I thought would stay another year, but he's a millionaire
Who,
now.
Adams.
Yeah,
Well,
what
that's
a
what Smoke and
move.
Jim touched on last night about the motives behind that gentleman's having to make the jump.
The
to
finger
support his
roll,
family.
Stephen Finger Roll Adams is
Well,
Oklahoma Thunder.
He
now.
has the frame. Now
Yeah, he
he
does.
has to go put on the muscle and get some strength and be able to hang in there inside. And rumor has it, Greg Oden, who was a great talent out of Ohio State and never really made it to anything, is going to be coming back maybe with the Miami Heat. So we'll see what happens with that.
Really?
And where Dwight Howard's going to go is anybody's guess. That's
LA,
almost like a drama
Lakers.
in itself.
Lakers.
I don't think he's going to stay in LA. I would wish that he would go to the Clippers and team up with Blake Griffin, Doc Gooden, Doc.
Wow, little
and
Z,
the
you might
coach.
be on to
Yep.
something.
Yeah, the coach. You know what? That would be a good move. Clippers. Clippers.
Hopefully he doesn't go to the Houston Rockets because Smoking Jim knows they haven't been good since Hakeem Olajuwon.
Well, Yao Ming was there. My favorite player, Yao Ming.
You like saying that name. I think that's what
Rumor
you
has
like.
it Yao Ming owns a sweatshop over in China, but that's off the record.
Michael Jordan sends his shoes down now.
Yao Ming makes Michael Jordan shoes.
Well, since you're going off subject and it is with sports, I don't understand how you can make shoes cheaper in a country where you're only paying 30 cents a day or whatever.
And sell them
else.
for $150.
Yeah, how
You
did
figure
the
out the
price ever
profit
go
margin.
down? All right, we better change because we're getting political on this stuff. I can't believe it.
Political. I mean, I just think, when you could get something made for $3 and come over here and sell it for $150, you're a genius.
Yeah.
I disagree there because you're paying all these shipping costs. You still have a lot of costs, but what you forgot about is actually workers here. Whether you pay them union wage or not,
They're gone.
we don't have jobs in America anymore.
So
all
we're
the
not
shoe
gonna buy.
companies are gone
Right.
because of that genius.
That's a good point.
That's the problem, little
The
Z.
mill-
That's why I said we're getting political.
The mills and everything else is gone.
because
of
that's
that.
what's happened there. When they get rid of all these things, and we still pay the same prices.
Right.
Isn't that amazing? That's my point to this. It's great if you want to make your profit a lot better, but you're still paying for all these other things. Box containers, shipping, everything else. But you don't pay Americans for it.
So you spent $10 and you sold the shoes for $150. You're still killing it.
No, you may have spent almost half of that money because you talked about the wages were so much for that. All they did is substitute one that they pay here and one they pay there.
Well, what you didn't notice last night, Al Levine, is when Justin Brooks put his shoe up on the table.
Made
I
in
didn't get
China.
to point this out. It was a knockoff. It was a knockoff. It was a
Really?
Yeah. It was a fake.
Well, then
It was a
that's
phony,
even
it was a
better.
fraud, so-
That's the genius. Forget legit. You got to go with the genius there.
Where
That's
can I get
even
some- Where
better.
can I get some knockoff Jordans?
Yeah.
Bruce's gallery.
He got all the answers. He moved up to Homestead, not Munhall, so he knows. They're throwing rocks, but they also have the knockoffs.
Indeed.
Well, here's my thoughts. What do you think about Pitt? Will this make it a better program? Will you get better recruits because they'll play some of the schools that they never would get a chance?
Well,
Will
I
that
never,
help?
I never liked the idea of moving into Heinz Field and playing in a stadium where you couldn't fill, Still Valley's field, and now you're moving into Heinz Field to play college football on a way bigger stage.
Right.
So I always never liked that move. I always felt like they should have built a stadium in Oakland and had their own field in Oakland and played in Oakland, But I think that's one of the reasons why Terrell Pryor didn't come. He wanted to play in front of 65,000 people. Well, guess what? When you play in front of 65,000 people, there's 65,000 cameras, and they see all your tattoos, and they see all your stuff, and they see you under the microscope. You can't fly under the radar no more when you're out in the farm country, out in Jeanette. So that's just how, we feel in the city of Pittsburgh,
Well, see, there's two, and that's a great point, Lil Z. There's two rules of thoughts that you got to look into in college football. One, you have to be satisfied with an 8-4 record, and that's what Dave Wannstedt could give you pretty much every year. He was an 8-4 football coach, and Pitt wanted a little bit better than that. Now, with a Dave Wannstedt, he could have been like a Barry Alvarez, who had a solid program with Wisconsin, a legendary guy with Wisconsin, but he never really did great, never won national championships, but he always sent guys to the pros. And one thing about Dave Wannstedt people don't realize is he can make one call to the National Football League, and based on his word, I guarantee you, if Walt Harris was still the coach at the University of Pittsburgh like he was, you see, he couldn't get he had great players. He could rarely get players into the National Football League based on his calls because, number one, if he called somebody in the NFL, they would not answer the phone or return his calls. And the second thing that you need, if you're not going to go with a Dave Wannstedt, then you got to go with one of these guys like a Rich Rodriguez or somebody that's going to come in with exciting offense, and that's a salesman that can come in.
I thought we had that, and Mr. Speed
Yeah, but
went
see,
out
the
to
high
Arizona
octane.
State.
You had
High
the
octane.
high octane, but the problem with those
He
type
didn't
of
have the
guys,
personnel.
problem with those kind of guys, it's a revolving door.
Yeah.
They're going to be here 3 or 4 years until a better job comes. Or thirdly, you can go with a guy like Walt Harris, who has a pretty good offense. That's going to go about 500 a little better every year. He's going to get some Blitnikoff winners. Going to have some pretty good offense, poor defenses. So that's the problem. Pitt's never going to win with Paul Chryst. Paul Chryst, if he was manured, he couldn't attract flies. So this is a guy that can't recruit. It's still a shame that he didn't bring Russell Shell back. See, when you play college football, you got to kiss these kids' butt. And if you're not willing
you
to
wouldn't do
I
that.
wouldn't do it. That's why I wouldn't coach college football.
Okay.
I wouldn't
do it
But
at
your
any level.
opinion is
I
that's
would-
what you have to do.
The only way you could do it is at the lower levels. At the lower levels, when you're teaching a young man. Once you're a grown man and you have 3 kids, there's no excuse, And he should have known better that this, might have been the right situation for him, and maybe he just needed to have a little gut check and man up a little bit, so to speak. And now look where he's at now. So you can't walk away from your team and then always think that you could come back. It sends a bad message to the rest of the team.
Well, the one thing I can say is I know, and you can probably say it too, when you're 17, 18, 19, you make mistakes. He made a mistake, and you bring
And he
it
made
back.
a couple. He
Yeah,
had twins,
bring it
and then
back.
he did it again.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he
But
made,
I fault the girls more so than him. They're trying to get that NFL money from him.
Hey,
You
you
know, it's hard
listen.
to
He's
turn
not
You
down.
gonna
can't
make
get
it.
that NFL money. Listen, honey, you're not going to get that NFL money
got
if he
him.
isn't playing football and he isn't on TV. So we could have used you, Russell, in some of these games that are coming up here in the ACC, but you thought you were Tio, you thought you were Ocho Cinco, and now you're going to go by the way and the wayside of those guys, and I look forward to seeing him play in California University.
all I wanted to know is if we'll get some better caliber players.
No.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Because you hear so many things that some of these guys from different schools
Well,
throughout the country will come here because they're not going to get on.
Well,
the
I'll give
other
you a prime
teams.
example. There was a kid out of Center. He was a wide receiver at
Okay.
Center Valley. He was 6'3", 200-some pounds.
Foster.
Foster. He's going to the
Foster.
University of Alabama.
He'll
Right.
sit the bench.
Well, he'll sit the bench, but that's a kid right there where you
Yeah.
can't let guys like that
Yes,
get out of
I
your
agree.
out of your grasp.
But that's part of what I'm saying, that now in the ACC against some of these other teams that are pretty good, that maybe you'll get a guy that will sit on the bench in Alabama might come here.
Well, see here.
Or does that make any
Well,
sense
that's
or
a
not?
possibility. But see, here's what you got to. You got to use your resources. And Dave Wanstead knew how to use his resources. Number one, the Steelers in Western Pennsylvania. All these kids grew up loving the Steelers. Terrell Pryor, he was in awe because his mentor was Charlie Batch. That was his hero.
Right.
Now the Steelers share the same facilities with Pitt. Dave Wanstead will walk down the hall and get a Hines Ward, for example, or Jerome Bettis, or who's a guy for the Steelers now? Maybe they
Lawrence
got anybody
Timmons.
good? Maybe
Pouncey.
Antonio Brown.
Whoa,
You take
yeah.
Speaking of
Antonio?
Antonio Brown, I'm in actually discussions with Antonio Brown's people to have Antonio Brown either call in or try to get out the SIP. Same with Charlie Batch. So we're working on that
That's
stuff,
good.
folks.
Thanks, Little
Rome wasn't
Z.
built overnight, but we're trying to get the word out.
But
about
here's
Pittsburgh
all
sports.
you got to do. You get an Antonio Brown or Emmanuel Sanders if you want to get somebody with no heart, and you go out to Center Township
And we're trying to get him on the show.
and you get Bob Foster. You can get Bob Foster to come to play Pittsburgh. You go out there with the coach and some Steelers and say, hey, we like for you to come. And these guys will come. They want to go to Pitt, but you got to give them a reason. You bring them in the homecoming game, and there's 15,000 people there, and they're all leaving at halftime.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
And we got
understand.
beat by the Youngstown Penguins. So that
They did play a good
Yeah.
game. Youngstown played
and you
a
know
good
what?
game.
I'm going to give you a fiction and fact from Little Z's Almanac.
Yeah, throw it
I was
out.
at the first game where Bill Stahl was the opening game, and it was against the Youngstown Penguins. And Bill
See,
Stahl
LaSalle.
was doing his thing, and he was
Yeah.
playing awful. And all the chants started coming in, and the drunk man, they put in Tino Sinceri. And I kid you not, 2 gentlemen, stone-faced, turned to me and said, that's the second coming of Dan Marino.
Wow.
And boy, could they not be more wrong about that evaluation.
And there you have it, a little extra fiction and fact
He's
from
working in the
Little
script.
Z's Almanac. We're expanding that. I'm going to have to expand my little fiction and fact. I throw those little tidbits out all the time, so no problem. We're going to be winding down the show. We got about a little less than 5 minutes. And what other subjects did we miss, guys? Because we've been it's been a great discussion. I'm glad to have you guys here. I think I'm getting another.
I don't think we talked about the number one team in the state as far as high school football, Gateway Gators. This may be the best high school football team I've ever seen in
Well,
the
little birdie chirped in my ear and said the Clayton Bears got some more guys coming up, so we may lose a game this year finally, but we're still going to be in it to win it in single A.
Well, we should be in it to win it. And speaking of in it to win it, Devin Shea, our roving reporter without the camera, it's 0-0 at the end of 3.
Wow.
That'll be the final report because we're running out of time, and he has that clock that we don't have here in the studio, so I'm just winging it tonight. I think we only got about 3 minutes to go.
And
so
one last thing is,
you got a couple things, buddy.
I think there's a young man from Bethel Park that gave a verbal commitment to the University of Pittsburgh, so we got to get out and watch him play football this year.
We'll
Bethel
see
Park
if he
did.
holds to it.
Little Z.
You know how those things are. I made a lot of verbal commitments.
Did
I'm
you?
supposed to be somewhere right now on a verbal commitment.
That he's showing loyalty to Pittsburgh sports line. We appreciate that. I think it has something to do with roses. That's all I can say.
It might. Hey, Brandy.
Hey, how are the cupcakes from
Oh,
Bethel
the
Bakery?
cupcakes were so good, but you ate one of my light skin cupcakes, bro.
Well, I like them because even this light, I will tell the truth. This is an interrogation lamp here.
It is.
2 weeks in a row.
They're interrogating Fidel's assistant, Bumpy Johnson's driver over there. Come on, Frank.
I know nothing.
Tell
I
the
see
truth,
nothing.
Frank.
I see nothing. I think we need that final report on the time. I think we're down to a couple minutes here. So where
I
else
got
are you
one.
going, Little Z? What else is on your schedule? You're usually going and bopping around the city here with
Well, a
events.
good friend of mine, Dominica, she has an event coming up for her cousin Kara that died, and it's going to be Friday at Orchie's down on Carson Street at 5 p.m. A $10 donation gets you free draft beer, a 50-50 at Chinese auction. It's for a great cause, aarda.org. So go out there,
Say
support
that again so that people can hear it. 'Cause
aarda.org. It's going to be Friday at Orchie's on Carson Street at 5 p.m. So go out and support a good friend of mine. Her cousin died from a bad battle with a bad disease. So it's
sorry.
just a dear cause that we're trying to support.
I'm sorry to hear that. What's a Chinese auction?
we'll explain that later. It's a good one.
It's a good one.
You could be
It
a winner.
involves something with a happy ending.
Yeah. All you got to is give a little money and you can win. All right? They'll pull your ticket out. That's what'll happen.
Definitely.
Smoking Jim, anything happening this weekend except for going to Gettysburg?
Please go to Gettysburg one day.
You gotta.
Well, you
oh,
know-
you got a regatta. Regatta
We
right
don't
now.
swim, so we're not going to catch him by any water.
You can go down to the point, visit the fountain, watch the pretty boats go by, and they're known to have some girls there.
Well, I tell you what, I hope everybody enjoys the 4th of July. It's Thursday, and enjoy the holiday. And in America, let's get back to work on Friday.
Well, how about we just have a long weekend and support America? God bless America and our country. Look at how we get to have a show in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching our TV. BPTV is the best. Dave Cable gets these shows up, especially our Monday night show, so we can put it out there and talk about it. Thanks, Dave. Thanks to Devin Shea, who just reported there's a stolen base. I assume the Pirates did that. Aaron Ward's super on the camera and keeping us, looking good here and being able to cut everything out so it sounds perfect. Chris has done a great job. I'm so proud because Little Z looks great on camera this time. So to
Thank
Lois,
God.
that's your baby boy there. I want to say goodnight to everybody. Thanks for watching the show. And you guys have a great 4th of July.